Welcome to the Mindfulness broadcast and welcome to 2025. I'm so excited to be here with you. I think I shared when we were together last week that we started this journey in 2020, and so it just warms my heart that we are still here and growing. Okay, let's begin. I want to share with you, let me put it in the chat. I wrote an article this week to kind of prep for this upcoming workshop that we're offering called Rewire to Rise. So I wrote part one of a 3-part series, and I used to write all the time, and it just felt so good to get back to it. So I wanted to share it and also use our practice today to focus a little bit on turning towards the new year. Here we are, right? And so for many of us, it is baked into our unconsciousness that January marks new beginnings, letting go of the old, turning towards the new. Some of us do that with finding a word that we embrace for the new year. Some of us set resolutions or intentions. I don't know if you've been on social media so far this year, but it takes all but 1 second to get bombarded with the groups you can join and the support groups that are happening and the challenges that are going on and the 24 and the 3-day and the 30-day and the dry January and all of the things that we love. New beginnings, generally speaking. And we're pretty bad at sticking to them is the other part of it that I really love to highlight because of the neuroscience that I love to bring into human-based changes, that we like to think if I just set that goal, if I just work hard enough, if I just, criticize myself enough or judge myself enough, I'm going to make this goal. And what the statistics are, I just looked them up in this article that I just shared, is that by the end of January, less than 10%, less than double digits, we're at just about 9% of people who set goals, resolutions, intentions, etc. About 9% of them see themselves as still being on track and being on a road to success by the end of January. So we're already on the countdown to losing 91% of the folks who engage in intentional change. And so I like to really lean on neuroscience during this time to think about, how do I increase my chances of succeeding? And overwhelmingly, what we learn is that how we go about looking towards change is wrong. From the very beginning, it sets us up for failure. So we like to get right to action, right? We like to think about, here's what I'm going to do differently. And what neuroscience reminds us is that we actually have much more success when we think about who we want to be first, right? So I want to just pause because we're going to use our practice today to focus on that. So thinking about who I want to be in 2025 or throughout the rest of my life, right? So the actions that we do generally support the belief of our identity. So I want you to just pause and digest that for a moment. So what we're doing is generally evidence of who we think we are, or the vision that we have for ourselves. So for example, and the example I use in this article is, a lot of us set money goals, financial goals, beginning in the new year, right? New things, new ways to spend and new ways to save and new ways to be in relationship with money. So I can get busy making a new budget, opening up new accounts, canceling old subscriptions. I can get very busy on the do. But if back here, behind all that, there's still a belief system that I am bad with money. I am not good with numbers. I cannot be trusted to save, or whatever that identity is. That's what's driving the actions. So very soon we will find there's cognitive dissonance between what I'm doing and this identity. And so all the savings and the new accounts and the subscriptions that I've canceled, all that starts to fade away pretty quickly, as seen by the numbers, because who I am is what's going to drive that show, that identity. If you've been with us in CPEC, that's that logic model, that identity that's at the top, right? So it's worthwhile for us to think about, who am I? Who do I want to be? What type of person would be saving money? Is that a financially wise person? Is that a belief system that I am good with money? I might not have a lot of it yet, but I'm good with it. I'm learning to be good with it. So really focusing on that identity first. So we're going to play with that today in our practice. So when you're ready, I also want to tell you, we will also put in the link, the class that's coming out. So I think it's January 22nd into January. We're doing it in a new way where we'll be doing it live, but you can also have access to the recordings for up until the end of March. So if you can't join us, you can also have access to the recordings and all the pre, during, and post work material that comes with it. So with that, let's close our eyes or take a soft gaze. Just allow all of that information to kind of filter through you, landing where it will. Maybe it completely resonates with you, and maybe you find yourself being totally uninterested in any changes in 2025. And that's fine too. So just allow it to land wherever it's going to land. Either way, the practice will be meaningful. Find your breath in your body this morning, and then find your body. Find your breath and find your body. No changes are necessary, but if you find that it's naturally adjusting as you turn your focus towards it, you might adjust your breathing. You might adjust your body. Saying good morning to yourself this morning. Welcoming yourself to this new day. Bringing gratitude into our practice this morning. Thanking yourself, showing up for all that it took to hold this place, to show up this morning. And then slowly, really intentionally deepen your breath, lengthening, bringing the inhale through your nose, exhale through your lips, activating our parasympathetic nervous system this morning, reminding our brain, our little lizard brain back there, that we're okay, that we're safe. I'm going to invite you to visualize this morning. And for some of us, that's a very active region of our brain. And for some of us, it's a challenge to try to visualize. So meet this practice wherever you can. You can narrate in your mind instead. You can list things. You can talk to yourself. You can visualize wildly or in black and white. Just allow whatever happens to happen and let it be okay. And if you can, without being too esoteric in my invitation here, I want you to Imagine, visualize you, the present day you, mentally, physically, emotionally. And thinking about how, while not entirely, but overwhelmingly, this vision, this person of who we are today is made up of a series of choices that we make, mostly unconsciously, over and over and over. What I do when I first wake up, how I fix my morning coffee, the noises I make, the stretches I do, the thoughts I think, my eating habits and spending habits and relationship habits and self-care habits. Mostly, this person I am today is made up of all of those habits. Those habits tell the story of our identity, how we see ourselves, who we see ourselves as. So just honor that process. Notice any judgment that might be creeping in for you. Any identification of good, bad, or right or wrong. See if you can just note that and bring yourself back up to a place of observation. And replacing judgment with curiosity. Wonder how that came to be. Well, isn't that interesting? And then that curiosity might turn towards, is that working for me? Is that what I want? Is that who I want to be? Who do you want to be? What type of person do you want to be? Stay in that space for a little while, just exploring. I want to be the type of person who, what, moves my body, loves my body, eats well, participates fully in my community, leaves work at 5. I want to be the kind of person who's present for my family on the weekends. I want to be a person who spends and saves wisely. And very often you'll note that we quickly start to move towards action. So I'll do this. I want to be like this, so I'll do this. And my invitation for you this week is just to stay in this space of curiosity. Over and over and over, reflect on your identity, your relationship with your identity. Who do you want to be? Who are you now? Notice what's happening for your body and your brain as you explore this. And wrap all of that with self-love and compassion. For some of us, this work feels very exciting. And for some of us, this work feels very scary. Bringing your attention back to your breath as you're breathing, thanking yourself again for showing up. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and come back together. Be well. Bye-bye. Thank you.